Monday, the 19th of March. Welcome, everyone, to Business Morning live here on Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. I am Bosin Omofai, and I'm here for the Business and Markets Week. Hope you had a very nice weekend. Let's get the show started. Nigeria has ditched the new Pan-African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement for signing on March the 21st in Kigali, Rwanda. That's the story of the weekend. On Sunday, to be specific, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says President Buhari is not going to Kigali for the signing, citing need for Nigeria to allow more inputs from stakeholders. And that's the very news we're waking up to this morning after last week all preparation and sending an advance team to Kigali, the Rwandan capital. Nigeria was part of the technical committee of the CFTA and lobbying to host the Pan-African Secretariat of the Continental Free Trade area. Sources say Nigeria fears the country will be a dumping ground for other African countries that are steps ahead of us in terms of industrialization, and that if we sign the CFTA on Wednesday this week, it will affect the cost of production in Nigeria as well as emerging small and medium enterprises. Some 44 African heads of state and government have confirmed as of last week, Friday, to sign the trade deal on Wednesday. So the big question is where do Nigeria goes from here on the Continental Free Trade Area? We're tracking some important government officials around the situation and bring us up to speed what's going on in Kigali, the Rwandan capital, from today till Wednesday, and see if the rest of Africa will go ahead and sign this trade deal without Nigeria in attendance, at least officially signing. Nigeria wants more consultations, stakeholders input. But let's take you back very quickly to Friday when we had that very lengthy exclusive with Ambassador Chiedu Osakwe, who is the Nigeria chief trade negotiator, on why this deal was considered a done deal for Nigeria and why is it beneficial now that it's been cancelled. Let's take a listen.
The Nigerian market, the size of the Nigerian market, it's a major advantage. We tend to forget it. We should not. Nigeria is a market in focus. For most economies in the world, those outside Africa and those within Africa. But having a market scale is not enough. The most important is the abundance of creative Nigerians with intellectual property, enterprising, innovative, creative, ambitious, and aggressively so. We need to diversify this economy. And you're absolutely right. We have to go beyond oil receipts. Frankly, if you ask me what is the scandal of our economy, from 1960s, from 58 rather, when oil was discovered, to now, is that we have not pushed as far as we should have collectively. This is not a criticism against a government X or government Y in this country. Absolutely not. This is an intergenerational responsibility. From the 1960s to now, we have not done as much as we should. But there are advantages that are emerging. Boasin, in the digital economy, our software writers and providers and those in the digital economy market space are now considered to be in the premier leagues in the global economy. What Inyi, Aboyeji, Oluwa, what they're doing, all our hubs in Lagos, in Kaduna, Kanu, Port Harcourt. Did you know that 10% of the GDP of this country now is accounted for by ICT? It's changing. It's taking a while. Did you know that one of our greatest foreign exchange earners now is becoming diaspora earnings, not just from Nigerians in Texas and London who are repatriating earnings, but Nigerians in Sierra Leone, in Congo, in South Africa, in Egypt, in Morocco, in East Africa, as natural persons who have gone beyond our borders. They're creating value, earning money, and repatriating it to Nigeria in terms of diaspora earnings. Did you know that our entertainment and film industry, Nollywood, is the third largest in the world in volume and value, and increasingly by quality? But there's still everything to play for. Everything to play for. So there is a story of oil and petroleum products, but it's gradually, we're dealing with it. And it has to be a public-private partnership. And so those advantages are improving by the day, but you know how we will maximize it and deepen it. And this is the story. We have to go back. I did not say go forward. To put it this way, to go forward, Blessed,
you need to step backward.
We have to step back to a time in Nigerian educational system when the University of Ahmadu Bello University, Ife, University of Ibadan that I attended, University of Nigeria and Nsukka, University of Lagos had products that were simply just headhunted by the best institutions in the world. The quality of our educational system currently is distressed, and this is what we need. This is where we need to invest, and this is what we need to improve on.
Nigeria's chief trade negotiator, Ambassador Chiedu Osakwe, all hopeful on Friday, and on Sunday, those hopes are now being dashed. President Buhari is not heading to Kigali any longer. Let's move on. What's else in the news this morning? Nigeria's legislature and the executive branch are now head-to-head over the planned concession, privatization, or increased government funding of the moribund Ajaokuta steel complex based in Kogi State. The rift is now deepening over this nearly 40-year-old $8 billion unproductive steel factory, as the National Assembly, in favor of direct federal government funding to complete this project against the plan by the administration for a concession or full privatization or sale of the Ajaokuta Steel project. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Ajaokuta Steel Complex now says they want Dr. Fayemi's Ministry of Steel and Mines not to appoint transaction advisors, consultants, or anyone else to concession or privatize the Ajaokuta Steel Complex. The minister, however, says the federal government is not spending a kobo anymore on the Ajaokuta Steel